Okay, we're live. Syempre we're not live until Father Bruce comes in and says we're live.
Sino yun? Sinong humihipan sa mic?
Oh, well, I heard that, so it was probably Emil. Okay, Bruce, we're live. What up, man? Welcome back to Manila. You guys seen The Flash? Like, I don't know if I should go see it. Should I spend money to see it?
I have not. I'm waiting for reviews. But my friend tayo of the
Yeah, that's the problem. I've seen.
I would have understood.
Your audio is bad, but I've seen the reviews, and yeah, it's the problem. I couldn't find a reason to go see it. Like, some people like it, like Sina Shark, they like it. Like other friends like it, but then more reviews say it sucks. So I don't know if I should go out of my way to see it. Or do we just wait for it to stream on Max and HBO Go?
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yo, oh yeah, we're here. Oh, hey, sorry, I was typing for work. Hey, Ina, Julian, what up, guys? Ikaw naman si Emil, di ka nagsasalita eh. So, mali ko pang nandiyan ka.
I didn't see it, pero nakamute na pala ako kanina pa.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta unmute whenever we start the pre-show. What up, Uncle Al, Reddit Regal? Maybe you should stop going by secret identity. Yeah, admin Reddit Regal.
Yep.
How do you handle tribalism in the IWC? I make fun of it because it's stupid. Whether you are like a fan, I don't like being a fan of just one thing and then hating on other fans of the other thing. So, hindi cool yun, guys. So I think you guys who listen to this show, whether you're here in the live stream right now or you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, I think you guys naman are the type of fans na hindi nagkakampihan sa isang, company or the other company. I don't like that. I don't think true wrestling fans are tribalists.
Yep, exactly. Same sentiments as well. I watch wrestling for good wrestling. Doesn't matter where it is. If I see good wrestling, and I like it. Yeah.
John Christopher, hey man, thanks for making us your post-show on Dynamite. We're gonna have Forbidden Door predictions because that's coming up on Monday morning, and we will be doing a watch party if you guys want to be a part of that as well.
Yep.
Okay, it's time to shut up.
Let's go.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Welcome to the big time.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
You know you're
damn roll and shut your damn mouth.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the star.
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles, and you are listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
All right, let's hope this works. You're watching and listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stan C, Roman, Emil ASH, all checking in for this week's live stream. Actually, Ro is checking in from a city that's actually part of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, unlike the rest of us.
Yes, hello from Singapore. I didn't think I would make it tonight, but we had a rest day on our itinerary, so I'm here with y'all. I do have something. I was hoping I could be here because I got some things to say after the debut of one AEW Collision. So let's strap in and let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of opinions that we have to get out there. So I'm going to let Emil take the lead first because he's got stuff to tell you about our growing wrestling podcast patron community. Well, I figure out my tech stuff over here.
All right, so if you want to be a part, we will have our watch party for AEW's Forbidden Door in a couple of days, actually. So if you want to be a part of that, and if you want to experience the Wrestling Podcast, you could do that by subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/Wrestling Podcast for as low as $5, or in local currencies around 260, 270 pesos. So murang-mura lang, no? Like I said, you'll get to enjoy our Discord where we will hold our AEW Forbidden Door watch party. So if you want to watch the pay-per-view alongside your fellow podcast, you could do that on our Discord. Also, you can interact with us and talk to us about anything, about wrestling, of course, video games, fashion, food, memes, anything and anything under the sun. And also, you can also get the review content of the weekly wrestling shows like Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, NXT, Collision, Rampage, and some local wrestling events as well, courtesy of Raw and ASH. Also, another perk of being a subscriber to our Patreon is the pasabays. And if you want to get your authentic wrestling merch, WWE, AEW, or any other wrestling merch, you can get it through us. And by subscribing to our Patreon, you're supporting everything that we do here on the pod. So again, please subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Wrestling Podcast.
All right. So, okay. Before while we wait for Stan to get back, syempre, we have to tell you all about what is happening on Monday morning. Syempre, we have Forbidden Door, AEW x NJPW. This is the second year running. And syempre, meron tayong watch party because you guys are some of the best podcast listeners in the world, in the multiverse. We also hope that you would also become some of the most loyal Patreon patrons in the multiverse. So we're having a Forbidden Door watch party live on Monday morning, 8 a.m. on Discord. All you got to do is, as Emil mentioned, just subscribe to our Patreon for as low as $5 US dollars. And syempre, we'll be watching this live and we'll be talking shit. We'll be bantering. I don't know where else you can watch it. I don't know if Tapco is doing this show or this stuff, or Premier Sports is doing this stuff. So if you really wanted to catch it live without much hassle, hopefully, please do consider subscribing to our Patreon and joining us for the watch party feels. Because maybe one day if this gets big, if AEW events get big enough, maybe we'll do it, in a small venue or in a hobby stadium. But for now, syempre, online muna tayo. Lalo na Monday morning shine. I know you guys have work. A lot of you have work in the office. So and hope you guys, join us. It's gonna be fun.
All right.
Stan, you back? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm back. Let's proceed with the show. The show goes on. All right, we're going to start with the wrestling news here. Of course, we always start our week with SmackDown. SmackDown, just because that's the first show that happens after the live stream happens, and we're really gonna have to put up with my horrible connection here. So let me set Ro up here with the fall of the Bloodline. We've got the Bloodline Civil War as WWE announced on social media. And Jey and Jimmy Uso are officially out. So, in-announce nila for Money in the Bank, right? You've got that huge tag team match between Roman and Solo and the Usos. What do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, sige. Emil, you have the background with the super kick heard around the second super kick heard around the world. So let's start off with you.
Yes, indeed, it was the second super kick heard around the world, and it was an incredible segment to end SmackDown. Like, honestly, akala ko they were gonna drag this out beyond Money in the Bank. I thought the J turn was gonna happen at Money in the Bank or after Money in the Bank, but turns out they pulled the trigger now, and it's honestly akala ko it's too soon. But when it happened, man, I was so happy, and yung reaction ko was finally, because we have been waiting Jay to finally stand up against Roman for how many months now. So it was an incredibly satisfying moment, and Jay really worked us when he was telling Jimmy, you're out, and then nakala natin he's gonna turn on his brother, and then said, guess I'm out too, and super kicks on. I was so happy when this segment happened.
So, given the way that these guys plan out their stories and their angles and their week to week, for sure this was really already written in the cards. Now, okay, Jimmy's gonna turn on Night of Champions. Tapos, they're gonna work this angle a little bit for a couple of weeks until Jay turns on Roman as well, which we all saw coming anyway. Pero do you think this was the right time to do it? Like, would it have pissed more people off had this gone on another month, let's say?
Not really. I think this is the right time because people. I think I'm seeing complaints from people, and one of the complaints that I'm seeing is that parang the will he won't he turn on Roman thing that Jay's been having has been going on for too long. Kasi this guy's been he's been dealing with this since the Royal Rumble, since January. So I think it's just the right time, and for us, we parang may element na it was out of nowhere because it was on a SmackDown instead of a big PLE, kind of like what happened in Royal Rumble. So it was the right time for me, even though I didn't expect it to be the right time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was kind of rushed when you think about it. When you think about how they stretched a lot of the Bloodline stuff from Survivor Series, from the Sammy stuff, but yeah, I think people would have turned on this even faster had it gone a little longer. So okay lang din, tama na rin siya, I guess. I agree. It's the right time, and a lot of people seem to think so. The acting was well acted. A lot of people had natural surprise reactions on, Jay finally turning on Roman. I think it's all good. Everyone in this segment, even Solo Sikoa, did some really good acting. Like, yung mga tao na hindi mo expect mag-act, like, umarte si Solo, and then the camera focused on him, and the facials were so on point, diba? Na I think that's the crowning glory of the story. Everyone involved was super elevated, and the people you didn't think were going to be elevated were also really elevated. They are. I think at this point we can all say that all of the people in this ring are Hall of Fame worthy characters in pro wrestling. Even the Usos as separate Usos, not just as a twin team. So the Anoa'i bloodline is super strong here, and I think it's pretty cool for them to really elevate the story. And I think this kind of quality it makes them deserving of the praises they're getting. Parang it should be a shield against all the criticisms they're getting thrown their way. Like, these guys are doing the work of their careers, and I'm not going to have any slander saying, they've been doing this for so long. They've been going back and forth for so long. They don't deserve that. They've been knocking it out of the park for so long for them to take that kind of shit. Yeah.
And I gotta say, okay, I gotta say that at the start of this whole Bloodline storyline, you could only say that only Roman is the star. Like all of them are supporting cast. But now, after 3 years, 4 other stars were made. Sammy, and then the Usos, and now Solo is on his way to being a star. So, for me, a successful storyline is if it can make stars, and certainly you could pen this one as one of the most successful storylines in the history of WWE.
Yeah, I think you guys have said everything that needs to be said about the quality of storytelling that we're getting from the Bloodline. It's really as good as it can get. I don't know if you guys discussed this earlier, but we have talked about this weeks ago. Should Jey get a title shot against Roman?
Yes, I believe so. They already teased the whole thing by saying, "Oh, we were grooming you to be the tribal chief," diba? So, in this regard, parang mas angat si Jey over Jimmy, and I don't know if like that's cool with Jimmy. I don't know if Big Brother is gonna be okay with that, but Jey did step up. He did say that in the. He did say he was the one who stepped up when Jimmy got injured, diba? So I think it naturally got there the same way it naturally got to Kofi back in 2019, diba? So okay lang din. Yeah, Jey should get the title shot. It really was Jey's story from the get-go.
Yeah, I also agree. Jey should get a title shot because this already started with also a Jey title shot. So to go full circle, you gotta have a title shot. And whether or not he wins the title, that I don't know. I don't know if at this point you could believe that Jey can beat Roman for the title, pero at least he should get a shot.
Yeah, should Jey beat Roman then for the championship? Because this is something I've been beating the drum for the last few months at this point. Okay, what do you think?
That's an interesting question. Yes, the feel good anything, talaga, is any one of these past few contenders for Roman this year, diba? Si Cody, Sammy, Kevin Owens. Yeah, I think they all would have gotten the feel good win. It would have been the feel good moment. Pero the question really is, are they going to pull the trigger on that, or are they saving their load for Cody? Because we can sit here all day and say Jey should win, but if that's not the long-term plan, and I for one respect the long-term plan here, wala tayong magagawa. But I do also respect the short-term environment and atmosphere, and say that if there is any time to really elevate someone who nobody thought would be elevated at all, diba? I think it's a good time to fuck around and just pull the trigger on Jey.
For me, the natural ending of this storyline should always be Jey winning over Roman. So if there's a title if a title is gonna be involved in there, probably yes. He has shown over these last few months that he can be a great single star on his own. So why not? But again, we have said the same things about Cody, Sammy, and Kevin over the last few months, and look at what happened. Roman still retained. So I won't be surprised if Jey didn't win, but for me the right decision is Jey winning the title over Roman.
All right. I know a lot of you are here for the Forbidden Door predictions. That's still coming up later on. But first, after the break, we'll talk about Collision and our thoughts on everything that happened on Sunday morning Manila time. But first, a quick break as we hear from our other podcasts on Podcast Network Asia. We're back, and let's get to that next slide, babyface producer Zeke. Let's talk about AEW Collision because someone had a lot of things to get off his chest. No, not that slide. The other slide. Nope. There.
Yeah.
Yun.
Let's talk about this guy. He had a lot to say, right? He even broke out a new catchphrase.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
So, what do you guys think about everything that Punk had to say? Let's start with you, Emil.
So this is basically him letting out all his feelings after what happened in the last few months, and he can't help himself but to take shots at people, which I thought was really unnecessary because tapos na yung issue, matagal na. Like, the elite are not even speaking about the matter, or I don't think they're legally allowed to speak on the matter. So bakit like this is his chance to make amends, turn over a new leaf, and be CM Punk again. Pero I don't know, like I was excited when he came back. Then when I saw the promo, I was like, okay.
No, I get you though. I mean, like, I get him. Separately, you can't come back and not address the whole thing because that's what everyone was waiting for, and it's gonna be weird if you don't talk about the thing that needs to be talked about. Because at that point, you're just gonna insult the intelligence of the people, and then you're just gonna play around with them. The reason why this is in the caption is because of a take that I had when I was watching Punk's promo, and I noticed that everyone, especially Chicago, was hanging on every word that Punk says. A lot of people, despite the unmitigated PR disaster that was the all-out press conference, the media scrum, diba? People are still praising this guy and hailing him as the ultimate wrestling messiah, diba? So that's fucking crazy to me, diba? That's super insane, and I figured, and it made me super uncomfortable because apparently you can be a shit person in the business, in the locker room, and be a toxic presence in the company. But as long as you are captivating the hearts and minds of the millions of people watching AEW live and at home, diba, all around the world, that's okay with them. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of the same behavior, but when you are talking about someone who is as super flawed as CM Punk, I feel like there is something that needs to be called out, diba? So to me, I feel like Punk is the Rodrigo Duterte of pro wrestling. If you guys are Punk fans, if anyone watching here and then anyone listening here are Punk fans, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They are literally almost the same people. One guy just doesn't kill people over drugs, but both of them like talking about whatever they want to talk about. They want to wear their hearts on their sleeves and be grumpy when they want to be grumpy. They want to go off the script. They want to meander about what they want to say. They want to be brutally honest, and then they also don't want to change themselves for to get the praise of the general population and society. So that's literally Duterte, and that's literally why people voted him into power. That's literally why you Punk fans listening to this or watching this like him so much, because he is unapologetically himself. And personally, I never liked the idea of being unapologetically yourself, because, like it or not, we have to face the fact that there are some parts of ourselves, even myself, that we have to be apologetic for. Because that's not how society works. You can't be unapologetically yourself and be, a like member of society, and you can't be a functioning member of society if you don't conform to its rules. But anyway, that's me being philosophical now. But that's why this whole thing makes me uncomfortable. I used to like Punk. I used to be a big fan of Punk, especially when he was a rebel of the wrestling industry and fighting against the man who wanted to keep him down and make him do stupid shit. Diba? So, but now it's just that he's taken all of that. It's like the third thing. He's taken all of that and just spun it into his own personal venting and and therapy session. Diba? It's like everything to him is just him letting out his frustrations, and that's fine. It's healthy, but also there is a point where it's also counterproductive and toxic. So, naman, the whole shoot thing was what we expected him to do, but still, doesn't sit well with me. What I did like though is the part where he did actually get down to the kayfabe business, and then he brought out the championship. He said he technically didn't lose the championship, so he's still kind of champion, and somebody has to beat him for it. Whatever he really wants to mean by that, but at least that was a story that I could appreciate. Kasi finally it's it doesn't have anything to do with the backstage shit, the elite, whatever his feelings about Hangman Page are. At least he corrected that track in that same promo, and we didn't have to wait for the next week or Dynamite this week for him to reinsert himself into the actual AEW kayfabe story.
Yeah. Let me bounce off that room rant there and answer Glendale's question. Do you think he should have done something backstage? I don't know what you want him to do backstage, Glendale. Like what, confront people and get that off his chest? I don't think they're legally allowed to at this point because of everything that happened last September. I'm just gonna bounce off of what Rose said kanina and probably add to it by saying there's a lot of fans out there, whether they're hardcore punk fans or they're just AEW fans or rebellious wrestling fans, who will hang on to what he says and say na, yeah, that's my guy kasi wala siyang pakialam sa feelings ng ibang tao kasi real siya, honest siya, diba? And that's the reason why the 16 million voted the way they did in 2016, right? And nakakainis siya, nakagalit siya, because we all know that one person na hindi, basta real siya, kaya gusto ko siya kahit na mali naman sinasabi na, kahit na may naapakan sila. And watching that on Sunday made me feel uncomfortable for those reasons. Especially because I know someone in my life who had also tried to step on me by saying, at least real ako eh. Parang, come on, man. Face reality na you do have to adjust to other people and, be mindful of what they feel because of your words and your actions. So whatever character Punk projected there really made me uncomfortable as a viewer, not someone who had to live through that stuff.
Sige, Emil, I have one last thing to say, but go on, Emil.
Again, pretty much agree with
Emil.
both of you guys. And with yung comparisons with the former president, is that in some of his speeches, speeches before, even the most ridiculous thing that he says always get a pop from the crowd. So I kind of thought of the same thing of some of the things that CM Punk said that normally I wouldn't be comfortable hearing it, but you can hear the crowd, they were popping to it. So yeah, I don't know if this is real life Punk or this is character Punk, but something is really off with it, and it's a shame because I'm such a huge CM Punk fan before, but parang habang patagal ng patagal, I'm really starting to not be a fan of this guy.
Yeah. Aaron says he's just living vicariously through Punk. And I get it, Punk, whatever Punk does, whatever Punk says, it's him just indulging his id, diba? His inner child na is unregulated, gets to do or say whatever he wants because he hasn't fully accepted there are consequences to what he says, because syempre, it's freeing, it's freedom. It feels good. There is dopamine in some respects to this kind of behavior. Pero syempre, can't always indulge your id, diba? You especially when you're as fucking old as Punk, diba? You're like in your 40s, you're still acting like a 16-year-old angsty teenager listening to Linkin Park, and identifying with Chester screaming his heart out, diba? Even Chester grew up, diba? So that's fucking insane, right? You're free to like it, sure, but I'm just saying, or we're just saying rather, why we're so super uncomfortable with it, and I hope that we're never gonna change the minds of people listening to this shit. But if you like punk, then you like punk. But it is something to think about, that I hope you think about, because you can't always live life like this, even in a perfect society. I mean, it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, one last note here, just to answer John Christopher. Punk's not being heelish because in kayfabe, he's a babyface. Accompanying FTR, he saved Ricky Starks, and he saved who was it kanina on Dynamite. It's like he's presenting himself as a babyface. So that's not him being heelish. That's him trying to just be himself. And if you think that he's being heelish while he's being himself, then that probably says a lot about your value system and what inside, diba, really resonates with you as babyface behavior versus heelish behavior. So yeah, see, Martin gets it. On paper, he's supposed to be a good guy, but the things he says and the way he carries himself, sobrang hindi pang good guy. So anyway, let's move on to the rest of Collision right here, and let me get your thoughts on the show as a whole. What were your first impressions from the debut episode?
Sige, I'll go ahead. Sige, let me go ahead. No, you first.
All right. I think AW did a good job naman with their first episode of Collision. The show felt different from Dynamite, just by having different set of commentators. Just by having Kevin Kelly and Nigel their duo really reminds me of the old ROH, where they were the commentary team. So just by having them, the show feels a lot more different than Dynamite and Rampage. Plus the set, I like the set. It's I think it's a bigger set than Dynamite, so that's a plus as well. And I feel like the wrestling, hindi masyadong matagal yung mga matches sa Collision ng first episode, which again, if you had been watching AWTV over the last 2 years, TV matches on Dynamite can go as long as 20-30 minutes. Pero here, like, sobrang bilis ng pacing niya, which I actually like. So if they're gonna do this consistently and with the distinct brand split in the future, I can actually get behind the Collision.
Yeah, I agree. This one is kind of lean. The show flow was pretty lean. Parang they only put, like, I believe 4 matches. That was, or the 4 undercard matches. That was the main event, but like 20 minutes, because CM Punk, and then CM Punk only really just wrestles the comeback and part of the opening part. But hey, it's all good. I liked it as well. It had a nice mix of Dynamite has had a nice mix of wrestling and in-ring promo segments, so that's pretty cool. It does feel like a brand split in the way that I didn't see BCC, I didn't see the Elite. So if I hope it stays that way, because I did enjoy how guys that I haven't seen in a while were there. Like, although Andrade was injured, Miro was, keeping himself on the shelf rather. So that part was cool about it. I also really enjoyed having a different announce team. Kevin Kelly, Stan and I's new friend. I like that it wasn't Excalibur doing the calling, because it in that regard, it really felt like a different show. Because if you put Excalibur and everything, it's definitely going to sound like the same show. So they did a good job in making it sound different, and in that way, make it feel different. So I hope that there is a strict brand split in place, because it really would go a long way in making sure that this is actually a different show. It's not just a show that's taped after Dynamite, naman.
And kung wala pang brand split as of this moment, I like what may naisip ako na those who are appearing on Dynamite should not appear in Collision, and those who appeared on Collision should not appear on Dynamite that next week. Para at least each week, iba-iba naman yung nakikita ng mga tao, and not just the same people. So that's how you make Collision a different show from Dynamite, and Dynamite a different show from Collision.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. We would all like to have some form of a brand split AEW because of just how stacked the roster is from top to bottom. But I don't think we're getting that because a lot of the people who appeared on Collision also did appear on Dynamite kanina. Yeah, diba? Punk was even trying to be self-aware of it and sinabi na, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm a Collision guy and whatever. So there was that moment. Any other thoughts on Collision before we move on?
It was a good first show. So kudos to them.
I think it's worth watching. Oh, one more thing. I do enjoy Sunday morning wrestling TV. Like, this is a way now. Well, for me, because it's not a pay-per-view, but it's not like a show that I have to broadcast to you guys live, diba? So I don't have to get up at 8 and then worry about missing the first part if I don't get up at 8 or before 8 rather. So this is lower stakes Sunday morning TV for us. So and I really enjoy that because if I'm not doing anything on a Sunday morning, I can just throw this on and enjoy more AEW.
Yeah, for me, I just really missed hearing the voice of Nigel McGuinness, hearing him do commentary. Kind of wish Ro and I were actually able to get a seminar with Nigel as well. So maybe somewhere down the road. All right, let's cross over to WWE and let's talk about Logan Paul because he has inserted himself into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So he's the 7th guy, and I actually enjoyed this promo. Just straddling the line of being like the hometown babyface, given it was in Cleveland, and he was also trashing everybody, even Clevelanders. May parang a bit of self-awareness. Yeah, this is why I left. Blah blah blah. And I don't think Logan Paul is winning Money in the Bank, but I think sticking him in this spot is really good because you're in London, diba? It makes the show even a bigger deal. And whether or not Logan Paul pulls down that briefcase, that match in and of itself is a much more high-stakes match with him in it.
Yeah, first thing, the promo was super weird. Like, I don't know what he was trying to accomplish. But to me, it felt like he was a face because he was self-aware. He took an L, so he left then. Clevelanders take an L, so that's the identity of people from Cleveland. So and then he uses or he exhibits a display of self-awareness and says, he is also a loser because he lost to a lot of people in the WWE. Right? So, what are you trying to make me feel here? Are you trying to come across as a face because you're in your hometown? Are you trying to come across as a heel because you're a natural dick and you make videos for 14-year-old girls? It's super weird. I don't understand what these are. This is one of the things where yes, Logan Paul is a good talker, but you really do have to script something and at least lay down a general direction of where or what he should be saying and what message he should be conveying. Because as all of us here we are super confused and people just ended up cheering LA Knight.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well, do it properly, Emil.
yeah. So about the Logan Paul inclusion in the match, I actually like it because before, when the six wrestlers were announced for this match, people were complaining, why is there no star power in this match? Even though we have LA Knight, Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura, but people's they still want more. So how about we put a celebrity, a big time celebrity in there, and that's gonna make this match a must watch for most people. And his style, he thrives well in the athletic spots, the dives from the top rope, the athletic spots, and he fits perfectly in a match like these where it's spot after spot after spot after spot, and it's a multi-man thing. It's a multi-man match, so I think he's gonna do well. Whether he wins or not, I will not be surprised if he wins. I mean, he's a star. I'm not surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if they suddenly have him winning Money in the Bank, even though I am rooting for another guy. So at least
I don't think Logan Paul needs Money in the Bank. Ito lang,
Yeah, pero,
just
Yeah.
pero I think it's
straight.
yeah.
He got the call shot, diba, against Roman Reigns. Oh, diretso na. He did Crown Jewel
Yeah.
and faced Roman. So what is he
Oh,
Money in the Bank for?
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
well, maybe he wants to. No, I mean, no. I can argue that I mean, anyone wants Money in the Bank, so you can have the element of surprise in your back pocket, diba? So, that's a lot better if you really want to win the championship and don't care about that. Okay, I wrestled you in a pre-announced match and then I won it honorably. You don't need that. You just want the championship, and then you just want to make the money that you get from winning the championship. In what way? A win is still a win, diba? So that I understand the psychology behind the Logan Paul wanting to join Money in the Bank. So yun, that part I get. I do agree though that he's not going to win. To say what else is he going to do? Yes, you could, given the history, you could sacrifice one LA Knight, but I'd rather that you not do that. And I don't really. I mean, if you give Money in the Bank to Logan Paul, then he is obligated to be hanging around all the time, even if you can just book him to choose a spot.
Yeah, I think with all things considered, we can see na at the very least, having Logan Paul in there makes the match a much bigger deal. So that should be really fun. Money in the Bank happening in a couple of weekends. That's Sunday morning Manila time. If you want to go watch it on Disney Plus, it will be live over there. If you want to watch it with Tagalog commentary, apparently a lot of people here in the Philippines ay mga para-paraan na sila. Whatever that is, I'm not going to tell you live right here. All right. Let's move on to our predictions for Forbidden Door. We've actually got a lot of matches to get through, so we'll predict them one by one because there's already 11 announced matches, and we've got the only part coming right after. Babyface producer Zeke, let's take that break first before we get to Forbidden Door predictions. Let's hear from our other podcasts on Podcast Network Asia. All right, Forbidden Door happening on Monday morning. I believe the main card starts at 8 a.m. We've got a watch party as usual on the Wrestling Podcast Patreon community. Let's go through the card here and start off with the first slide that Babyface producer Zeke put up earlier, just moments earlier. It's the AEW International Championship match between Orange Cassidy, who's probably going to kill himself trying to face Daniel Garcia, Katsuyori Shibata, and Zack Sabre Jr. Emil, is Orange Cassidy going to retain here?
There's a chance that he might, pero honestly, this Fatal Four-Way is a chance for him to lose the belt without sacrificing his status as a top guy in AEW. So I'd go with put the title on Daniel Garcia because I think they're defending the international title weekly on TV, and I think Daniel Garcia can take the mantle of being a great champion who defends that title each and every week. So I'll go with Daniel Garcia here.
If they're smart, they would give Orange Cassidy a break. But they're not, and I think this is a way to set up an Orange Cassidy successful retention without having to, without having to have the big names in this match really lose, like specifically Shibata and Zack Sabre. So it's gonna be a fun match, but it's still gonna be an Orange Cassidy win.
If Orange Cassidy wins again?
No, I mean, normally, I mean, on paper it seems that way, but I just watch one of his matches and then and I see how good he is, and then it's gonna be back to square one. Okay, he's great, but I still will feel bad because he's still gonna put his body through a lot of that.
Same. Hindi naman. Because he's been putting out great matches in each and every week. So I'll take it for what it is. And but yeah, he deserves a break here. He's been putting on really good matches for the entire year. So sana naman bigyan siya ng bakasyon.
All right. Let's move on to a match that was announced for the buy-in. It's the first round of the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup. Athena versus Billy Starks. So there, it's the match on the lower right corner of your bracket.
All right. I don't know why this match has to go on the card, but I do know why, because they're not really gonna do a women's championship match, diba? Parang, is it on the card? Wait, let me check.
Tony Storm and Willow Nightingale, they're facing each
Tony
other.
Storm and Willow.
Oh yeah, right. I don't know why. This could have been an ROH match, but it is what it is. And syempre Athena has to win this because she is the actual ROH Women's Champion. So Billy Starks is there to give her a fun match, but honestly, I don't think Billy Starks is quite there yet. This is I'm one to talk, but I don't think that this is more than just a fun Easter egg run for Billy.
Yep. Is this Billy Stark's first appearance on AEW, or has she appeared before? Yung hindi Dark, yung sa TV. If this
yes, she's been on Dark. Yeah, no, she's been on Dark. Mm.
All right. So you know what? Why not give me Billy? Because tournaments are upsets in tournaments, they go hand in hand. So why not give Billy Stark here to win? Although I can understand Rose's argument that Athena is ROH champion, and you can't have the champion look bad against a young wrestler. Pero it's gonna make for a really good story if Billy Stark wins and upsets Athena. And might as well just baka they can get an ROH women's title storyline out of it. So I'll go with Billy.
All right. I mean, it's not like the Action Andretti upset by Jericho, because that actually happened on Dynamite. What Ro was arguing was Billy Starks hasn't been on the main shows ng AEW. So if this person from literally out of nowhere defeats someone who's supposed to be a women's champion on one of the brands of your company, it's not a good look for everyone. So kind of right. That's enough for the buy-in match. Let's move on to the men's Owen Hart Cup first round, CM Punk and Satoshi Kojima.
Okay, random match because you gotta get Punk on the show. Also can't get Kenta versus Punk, which was the ideal one. At this point I no longer know what the story is between the two. Why Kenta doesn't want to work with Punk? Is it because they won't pay him? I don't know, but this has to be a Punk win because Tito Cozy is just there to carry him to a decent New Japan style match. So I think this is a giveaway.
Okay. Natawa ako because this reminds me of an old CM Punk shoot video that I saw of him screaming when he imitated Homicide, and he kept screaming Kojima. So now he's going up against Satoshi Kojima himself. I don't see Punk losing early in his comeback. So this is a Punk win.
All right, simple as that. Let's move on to the next match we've got. It's the BCC, Konosuke Takeshita and Shota Umino taking on the Elite, Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii. So it's a random pairing though for the babyface side. But I don't mind having Eddie Kingston there, given they were able to use that Dynamite today to draw out in history now with Mox. And then I guess Eddie Kingston and Ishii are sort of friends, so that works.
Yeah, this is a very NJPW multi-man tag match. If you guys, syempre, a lot of you here listening and watching are familiar na on the smaller shows, they tend to run a lot of multi-man tags just to rest people and not overexpose them and oversaturate them. This is exactly it. I do think the Elite are due for a win here because BCC won Anarchy and then BCC kept winning after that. Uh, Although there is the case of Takeshita being there, BCC being on a tear. I don't know. It's a little tough to call. I can't tell, but I do think the Elite need to win. So I will give the Elite my prediction, my pick.
Same thing here. The elite for the win kasi yun na nga, BCC got the win no Anarchy in the arena. So plus they've been BCC has been dominating the Elite over the last couple of weeks, even after Double or Nothing. So the Elite, I'll go with the Elite here.
Hey, at the very least, they should be a very fun 10-man tag team match. We've got another multi-man coming right up. It is a 6-man na wala pang graphic kasi hindi pa alam kung sino yung 6th man. So it's Team Sting and Darby Allin, and TBA going up against Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. It should be fun. First, who do you think these mystery partners gonna be, and who's gonna win this one?
I don't know. I don't know who it's gonna be. I have no clues. So I will just. I don't know. I don't. Does it have to be a New Japan guy? Parang but I guess yes, because Suzuki was on the other side. But I will say that the babyface team wins because Jericho and Sammy need to further their little tension storyline.
So in terms of TBA, same with the people in the comments. I think it's Naito because he hasn't really appeared in any capacity in AEW yet. So yep. So I'll go with Naito, and for the match, I'll go with the baby faces because there's a story there between Jericho and Sammy that needs to go further, and the only way to do that is them losing here in this match.
All right. I just thought of this now. It really popped me. If you know, the mystery partner is Gene Blast Yota Tsuji.
Pwede naman. I mean, like you know what? Anyone can be in the spot. Yeah, anyone can be in the spot. Like I don't think it makes a difference because I don't even think Naito's that big of a name anymore. Like he's not that. I mean, yes, people are still fans of him, but he's not as relevant in the company. I think because he's also a free agent, diba? Or did that come to fruition? But he's not as prominent as he once was, like a couple of years back. So, but literally in this match, anyone can be in that spot because I think the big story really is Sammy and Jericho.
Mm-hmm. We'll find out because Collision is a live show that's happening on Sunday morning. Doon pa lang i-announce sina Sting and Darby Allin. So good luck with that graphic scene. All right, next up, this match between Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Sanada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think Sanada's gonna drop it at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, this is like a fun match. Dream Card. The Dream Card is not a crossover card. Is not really a place where you shake up the status quo. So the same way Kaito didn't beat Okada in the NJPW X Noah Dream Card, the same way Sanada isn't going to lose his championship here against Jungle Boy.
Yeah, same thing here. Sanada's not going to lose that title on that card or anytime soon. But I really wish they could have a good showing because I want Jungle Boy to be the next big star in AEW, and if this match can get him closer to be that big star, then I'm all for it.
All right. We don't have a slide for this because it's going to be announced for Rampage. So let's take the slide down. And let's talk about Adam Cole and Filthy Tom Lawler from New Japan. They're going to have that match at Forbidden Door as well. Wala pang graphic, obviously.
Yeah, Tom Lawler naman isn't again, he was the first and longest running strong champion, but right now he is in a bit of a holding pattern. He was the big guy to beat the strong, but now he's kind of lost in the shuffle again. I don't know if he's going to be brought over to Japan, if he's going to work that space, but this is an Adam Cole win because Adam Cole is the bigger star. Could be otherwise if they do want to bring Tom Lawler in. I do think he should be watched by a lot more people than the viewership of Strong. But I do think Adam Cole is hot, so you can't really cool him off with a loss here.
Yeah, same thing. Adam Cole with the win. My first thought when I saw the match being announced is that is this match? Do we really need this match? I mean, you already have matches in the card, but you know what? It's a dream card. Put as much matches as you want, because it's only once a year where NJPW guys come into AEW and have this super show. So yeah. So but this is an Adam Cole win.
Yeah. Plus, sabi mo nga, Emil, it's an AEW show. The cards will always be this stacked for an AEW show. Dapat sanay na tayo, right?
Yes.
Babyface producer Zeke, let's bring the women back on. Let's talk about the AEW Women's World Championship match between Toni Storm and Willow Nightingale, who I guess represents New Japan as the NJPW Strong Women's Champion.
I do like na nahanapan nila ng paraan to still have a AEW versus New Japan women's match. Like, that's pretty good. I don't know why the IWGP Women's Champion wasn't tapped for this. That's a weird thing to not do, but Willow Nightingale, medyo cop out siya, but in a way it still fits because I know I enjoy watching Willow Nightingale, and I think this is a good match. I know we've already seen this match for sure a while back with the different permutations of the Outcasts versus the AEW original women, diba? But this is gonna be fun, and since AEW Women's Championship siya, it's Toni Storm easy.
Yeah, same thing. Although I can't help to think, man, if Mercedes didn't get injured in that match, we could have gotten a Mercedes appearance here. But I'm okay with it. So in terms of the match, Tony Storm for the win.
All right. Last few matches here on the card. We've got the AEW World Championship match between MJF and Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, no, I just soon obvious, yes, but let's back it up with some science, no, with some psychology, no, with some wrestling logic. I did read a rumor that said that NJPW sees Tanahashi as a vet who can eat losses now. He's not like the Tanahashi of 10 years ago, and he's still in his very John Cena prime, even with Okada in the wings, diba? So definitely MJF, but that's the reason why. Because Tanahashi is still a big enough name, but not big enough that he can't eat a pin against the young Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah, same thoughts here. He has been that guy for years now, si Tanahashi. Ever since he lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 10, his role has become he still has a big name. He's still the ace, the former ace that you can slot in main events, and he can eat losses, but still doesn't lose that stature of being a star. So no surprise that he was slided here in this card as a challenger for the AEW World Championship, because obviously MJF is not going to lose anytime soon. So MJF for the win, and should be a good match. You know, people may not like the mix of MJF versus Tanahashi, but I think they're going to surprise people.
Mm-hmm. All right. Up next, another dream match. One of the first to announce IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. It's a rematch between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay.
Okay, now we're cooking with gas. This is, I think, the one of the two actual consequential matches on this card. Will has to win here because the entire story of him losing at Wrestle Kingdom was him going through his own Cody Rhodes arc. So I believe this is him. This is his story to finish. This is Forbidden Door is him finishing the story. And if he does not, then he looks more like the chump that people thought Cody was when he lost to Roman at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I
same thoughts
have
here.
to finish the story.
There you go. Yeah, again, same sentiments here from me. This is Will's to win because he lost the title, and everything up to this point was him trying to get back to that point in which he could win the title back against Kenny Omega. So plus, if it was true that these two, because I read some reports earlier this year that these two held themselves back in the Wrestle Kingdom match, and it was
What?
great. It was
Really?
yeah. I've read reports about it.
What?
Like, yeah,
Talaga na yun.
exactly. That's exactly
No.
exact
I
reaction
get.
that-
No, I get how they were holding themselves back. They weren't doing the weird, the heavy cardio stuff that Will and Ricochet were doing half a decade ago. So I get it. I get what that means.
Yeah. So what? So if they go full on 100%, so paano pa kaya yun? So I'm super excited for this match. And if Will wins here, there's a possibility of a rubber match at All in London in about 2 months. So this Will should win here.
All right. Now let's get to the main event. And I think in-announce nung Dynamite kanina na this really will be the main event. So please expect Bryan Danielson and Kazuchika Okada to close the show here at Forbidden Door. Is this one of the consequential matches?
Yes, pero no. Also no. What was the other? Yeah. So yes, na rin, because it is still up in the air. Like, these guys are both longtime vets and longtime top guys of their respective companies. About parang there's no clear edge between the two. Like, one of them isn't bigger than the other to make it immediately obvious kung sino mananalo, diba? So I do not know. I do not know who's gonna win here. Like, nobody here is like the up and comer who needs a big win, and nobody here is the more veteran here that could believably believably get the win without making it controversial. So I legit do not know who to pick here. Hirap pag walang story, when you just throw on an exhibition. This is super WWE 2K now. Okay, I'm player 1, you're player 2. We're choosing our favorite guys, and we're just doing a random singles match on the Forbidden Door stage. So I do not know who wins here. I don't know who should win. If I gun to my head, I would say Brian, because Brian has a bigger story going on here, but not so much that. And yeah, it's a weird thing. It's not so much that he needs the win. It's just that it is still an AEW show. So by default, the hometown guy, the home court guy, probably will get the win. That's my really unsure take of the whole thing.
Same. Sobrang hirap din ito because you can go either way, man. You can go either way with Bryan and Okada, and both of them are already certified legends in pro wrestling. So maybe it doesn't matter who wins or lose this match as long as we get a banger. But for me, I'd go with Okada. Okada here with the win because he's a younger guy, and for me, kasi I feel like Bryan is in the same spot as Tanahashi. Na he may not win all the time, but he can be in the main event, but he can eat losses and not look weak or weaker. So I go with Okada. But I'm not gonna be surprised if Bryan wins. Either way, the fans will win because we're gonna get a really good match.
Thank you to everybody in the comment section for chiming in with your predictions for Forbidden Door. Again, if you want to join us for the watch party, it's on Monday at 8 a.m. Manila time. Go check us out over on the Wrestling Podcast Patreon. That's patreon.com/wrestling podcast. And if you're listening to this on the audio only version, then You can hit us up with your predictions and your comments over at Wrestling2X Pod. Let's get some plugs as we begin to wind down here. Before the plugs, gotta let you know that there's still an audio-only part of the pod. We're gonna talk some NXT, and we've got picks of the week. We're bringing that back just for this week because we had to move things around so we can celebrate a huge milestone next week on the podcast, that being episode number 600. So let's get some plugs. Emil, what do you have going on?
Not much. Just follow me on my socials on TikTok and on Twitter at email_Meister.
All right, and Ro?
Yes, sir. The latest episode of Unmasked is out today, this morning. Thank you, Neil, for listening to the show on your way home and getting home to the live stream. So you have like 2 hours of listening to me. I hope you had fun and you enjoyed the experience of having me in your ear holes. But this episode is the very start of my wrestling career. We go to my joining of PWR via boot camp in 2014, and then at the latter half is my debut in Vendetta of 2015. So if you haven't heard me talk about my very beginnings yet, this is a good place to start, diba? At least andito na. So please do tune in. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Unmask the Chronicles of Romaran and Sandata. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I think wherever you get your podcasts. But yun lang naman dalawa yan. So, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe and please rate me. If you liked it, please give me 5 stars. If not, you're free to rate whatever you like. Somebody already rated me low, so that's cool. But please do listen and follow.
I just gotta say, I listened to the episode earlier, and ABL is such a fun co-host. So
Yun.
yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so shout out to you, ABL. Like I laughed a lot of times while listening to the episode earlier. So shout out to you, man.
Oh, yeah. So while we're here, let's promote na rin, Manila Wrestling Federation, MWF. We have a show on July 9. That's a Sunday at the Quezon Memorial Circle, covered courts. Once again, it is MWF Action Novela TV, Gigil at Romansa. The main event is David Ravenna versus Fabio Makisig for the MWF Pinoy Wrestling Championship. I'm going to be there. Stan's going to be there. Rowan might be there if you want to say hi to him. If for any Rowan Natics, mga dabarkads ni Rowan dito sa chat, kung taga QC kayo, kung malapit kayo sa QC, punta nyo na. Tickets are on tickettome.net. They are really affordable right now. Bagsak presyo. So please do consider checking that out. And if you can't, you can also support us via Gank. That's where you can hear our commentary, our voice work. Because the live experience is one thing, but it doesn't quite give you the whole thing because there are pre-tapes, there are video segments that you can only see on the finished product. So if you are interested in that, please go to manilawrestling.com, subscribe to Gank. That's only $10, around 600 pesos. You can pay via credit card, debit card, or GCash. So a lot of options for you to pay if you are willing to support local wrestling. Ito na. Yun na yung paraan kung paano supportan. Right? Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. That's it for me as well, since Ro took care of that. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on the stream. Thanks to everyone who is listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. I gotta thank Babyface producer Zeke and my co-hosts Ro and Emil here for putting up with my really shitty internet connection. It's not easy doing a live stream and a live recording when not everything is firing on all cylinders. But those are the cards we're dealt. We just try to deal with it as best as we can. And like I said earlier, we're celebrating episode number 600 next week. So kita-kita tayo on the next live stream. Right before Money in the Bank, it will be the Money in the Bank predictions episode. We'll also be recording picks of the week next week, Monday or Tuesday. That should be episode number 599. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Individually, it is at EML_Meister, at Ro is War, at Monday Night Rowan, at Chino Superside is an @_Stan C. Thank you very much to all of the other Babyface producers at the PNA for all the work that they do behind the scenes. On behalf of Emil, ASH, and Romaran, my name is Stan C, reminding everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be a dick. Wrestling podcast. podcast out. Bye-bye.